Coming up on today's show, Laverne's found some recipes that's going to make your home into a bed and breakfast. That's all coming up on Cooking Crave. Hi, I'm Rhonda Fitterer.
And I'm Laverne.
And you found a couple recipes that people are going to feel like they're at a bed and breakfast, but
It's going to be good, yes.
you're just going to be in your home.
That's right, and that's even the best part of it.
That's right. So
Yep.
your family will love it, and if you have people staying over, I know that they like whatever
They're
you
going
make
to
too.
enjoy it, yes.
What you found is a breakfast hash browns lasagna.
Yes.
That sounds so awesome.
Well, it was actually given to me by one of my coworkers at work, Ramona Kovac.
All right.
Yeah.
Go Ramona. All right. To make this, you just need a couple ingredients. You're going to need 2 cups of breakfast sausage, 3 eggs that are scrambled, 15 strips of bacon, butter, pound of hash browns, shredded cheddar cheese, and chives to garnish.
Yeah.
So not too many
Well,
ingredients there.
But we'll go back to the eggs. It actually says 3 cups.
Okay, 3 cups of scrambled eggs.
With scrambled eggs. Might be a little bit different than
So
3
is that
eggs.
about a dozen?
It is.
Okay.
It actually was a dozen to make the 3 cups.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Somebody's going to come up awful short if they do that.
It will be.
Just 3 eggs. And to pair with this, you found a very interesting and very nummy looking apple coffee cake.
Oh, it's going to be great. I mean, the season for apples, well, apples is good anytime, though.
Yeah,
but
it is.
It's going to partner well with that.
Absolutely. The ingredients that you're going to need to make this, you're going to need 1.5 cups of flour, a cup of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, a half teaspoon salt, a 1/4 cup butter, an egg, 3 apples, and then the topping, which is the best part of any coffee cake, is a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a 1/2 cup of pecans, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of butter.
Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it?
I can't wait.
Okay.
All right, so where do you want to start?
Well, we're going to start with the coffee cake because that takes 50 to 55 minutes.
Okay.
And so we'll assemble that, put the oven on at 350, and get that in the oven before we assemble our breakfast lasagna.
Okay.
Okay. You know, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm actually going to put my my eggs in my pan already here.
Okay.
And I've learned too that with scrambled eggs, they really recommend you putting them on low and not cook them real fast and high. They get fluffier and they're just a little more, they're better, not cook so fast.
So that's the secret ingredient to Grandma's best scrambled eggs.
Correct. Okay, because I just got that on very low, so that can be just warming up while we get this going here. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to just, my big nice pitcher here to mix all the dry ingredients. I'm going to put that in the microwave just to melt the butter.
Okay.
It's only going to take a few moments for that. And it is so easy to assemble. You know, very few ingredients and the topping, and you're going to go use a 9x13, not a 9x13, a 9-inch round cake pan.
Okay.
So we're going to just, you know, gently spray that. There, well, that butter is melting here. And I can take that out. And because things don't need to be really mixed real well, I'm not using my big mixer today.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is add, we got the it's a half a stick of butter.
Okay.
And then 1 egg. So there isn't too much wet ingredients in this. So now it's 1.5 cups flour.
Okay.
1 cup sugar. And then we need 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And then about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So there we go. Okay, so we're going to just blend that up here a little bit here. It doesn't take too long. And it's going to be kind of dry. It's not a real wet batter, put it that
Okay.
way, because there isn't very many liquids in there.
So it's going to be more crumbly.
It's going to be very crumbly, and the apples is what's going to give it the juice in there. So we've got that mixed well here. And then we're going to do our apples. And, you know, I didn't go ahead and core my apples before. It's just going to be so slick to do my apple slicer here.
And is this a Granny Smith apple that you're using?
Yes, it is.
Okay. That's what when you're baking, that's what you normally use.
What I like best is when I'm making, apple bars, apple pie, anything like that I like that. So we're
okay.
And when you're peeling your apples, and if you don't get every little last peeling off, that's not a big deal.
No.
So
as long as you've washed them beforehand.
That's correct. Yeah. So we'll just set that aside, and I'll just let you just chop them. And it asks for 3 apples.
How small of pieces are we looking?
Well, it says coarsely chopped. So if you're, quartering them there, that should be just fine. And, it says Granny Smith apples, but, actually, it says fall now. Your apples, you get a lot of good apples off the trees that are a little bit tart. And,
sure.
And that's what you kind of like, is them to be a little bit tart. So I'm going to just put that in here and let you cut that up there. There is no doubt your apple peelers really save a lot of time.
Oh, absolutely.
When you can core it and peel them all at the same time.
You can make quite a few.
You can. The only thing, it doesn't work so well is if your apples aren't real firm anymore. If you've had them a while and they've gotten a little soft, it'll break up a lot easier there. So, okay.
I'm not as fast as you.
Oh, you're doing just fine. Looks like there's a couple
seeds
left in there, huh? So, see how fast that went, that we didn't have to do that prior. If you do it too much further ahead, the apples will start turning brown for you.
Sure.
But, too, a good trick is just putting them in some salt water, and that just keeps them from turning brown, and it.
Well, salt water or lemon juice, right?
Lemon juice also. Either one.
So it's gonna set a little bit, and then it will get juicier, because as you're mixing it there, it's not that there's a ton of juice coming out of those apples.
No, not at all. It's going to be a pretty dry mixture there, but we want to get those apples down in there, and actually just stirring that up a little bit. It's going to break up the apples even a little bit more. Okay, so let's get that there, and we'll just.
So that fills it up pretty full, actually.
It does. And I had debated. I mean, one thing, it's not one that's real juicy that it's going to run over.
Okay.
So you're going to just press this down for a minute, so it makes it a nice height of a coffee cake.
Sure.
Just spread that around there. Okay. And then definitely it's going to be easy to mix the topping here. We're going to just put the butter in the microwave just for a little bit, just to get that melted, about 20 seconds there. And so that's where we have the pecans, the brown sugar and cinnamon in that. So, and we need a teaspoon of cinnamon. That cinnamon gives it just that extra wonderful flavor.
I like the sugar.
Oh, well, that will help a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I have 2 tablespoons of butter here.
Okay.
And we're going to put a teaspoon of cinnamon in there and a 1/4 cup brown sugar, and then a 1/4 cup of pecans.
Okay.
In fact, when I chopped them, I think I probably had a few more, but I thought, well, it's just going to be that much better.
Yep.
So we'll mix that.
I mean, just call for pecans, but you know, if you don't have that and you have walnuts in your fridge, you can certainly use that too.
Absolutely. You know,
Or if you have somebody that's got allergies, certainly you omit them.
you can, yeah.
I think maybe a good substitute might be crushed pretzels, just to give that little bit of crunchiness, maybe.
Oh, I think that would be an excellent idea.
Instead of nuts, if you do have that allergy.
I think that'd be an awesome idea. Because then when you're baking that too, and with that butter, it definitely will give that a little extra crunch. So we're gonna just put that down on top, and we'll spread that out then.
And they have to be so careful now. I mean, my kids are still in grade school, but if there's somebody that has a nut allergy in school, they don't have it anywhere. They're not allowed to bring it in their snacks, or
And
some pretty severe allergies out there.
I was reading just the other day about that. I've been hearing, for a long time, you're not supposed to give children peanuts or peanut butter before they're a year old, or that. And actually, this article research that they had done, and they actually said, and eggs was one of them too, so that they don't get their intolerance to dairy products, to start them at 4 to 6 months, just a little bit. That actually that was supposed to be helping them to build an immune system to it instead of waiting and then.
Oh, okay.
That's what that new article come out with. So if that's, fact, but, and I think too, a lot of it is in the genes and it's hereditary and stuff. So
Absolutely.
So that looks great, doesn't it?
It does
We'll
look great.
put that in the oven here. And I'm going to set the timer for 50 minutes. It says 50 to 55, but we'll kind of check it, to see if that toothpick comes out clean and to say whether it's done or not. So, okay, now for the breakfast lasagna, we want like about a pound of sausage and about 15 slices of bacon.
Okay.
So while I'm getting the eggs here, I'm going to have you chop the sausage here.
All right, I can do that.
Yeah, and just take any favorite sausage that you may have or that you like. I just happen to have the Jimmy Dean, and Dad really likes that flavor. It's a little bit, maybe spicier than sometimes what you might get when you just buy a bulk sausage in the store. So, but we just want to chop that, and so we're going to get that cooked well, and I'll have my eggs scrambled here and cooked. And the eggs, we're going to not make them so well done. We're, just so that they even look a little bit moist.
Okay.
Because when we put them in the lasagna and we're baking that, they're going to bake up some more. So we don't want them to get dry. So it won't take very long, and we should be able to be back here to start assembling our breakfast lasagna.
Sounds good.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
The eggs still look like they're a little bit wet, which that's what we want. So we're going to bring that over here.
Should I leave the sausage here?
Nope, we're going to bring that over here also. And I'm going to set that back here. And we're going to lay it, and I'll use the slotted spoon, to put that. But you know, there's not a lot of grease in here anyway.
No, there's
so
not.
I have 2 tablespoons of butter.
Okay.
I'm going to just go ahead and grease the pan.
And this isn't something you would want to just use a little bit of cooking spray with?
The butter's going to give that little bit more flavor, especially the hash browns are going to go on the bottom.
Okay.
And that will brown them a little,
Yep.
you know, make that a little bit nicer there. So yes, it would have been a little less messy probably, not using my finger to spray, but it's the butter flavor that you do definitely want in there and stuff. So, okay, so now you're going to layer this just like you were going to make a lasagna. So we're going to start with the shredded hash browns.
Okay.
And it says, you know, around that pound to a pound and a half, just to depend on what you want to do. Just, you know, cover the bottom of the pan nicely, but, you know, not real heavy.
Okay.
So that just sounded really neat, you know, like a breakfast lasagna.
Yes.
And stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and put half of the eggs in here because we want to make 2 layers. And it didn't add extra salt. It doesn't actually ask for, you know, extra.
But with the sausage and the bacon, you're
Correct.
not really going to need that.
No, you're going to have plenty in there, and then there's cheese that goes on top of that yet also. So you know, there you have. There's going to be plenty of salt in there.
Sure.
So we'll take half of this here, and your bacon too. You definitely want cooked.
It's like a meat lover's breakfast lasagna.
It is. Yeah. And, you know, if I was probably just making this just for ourselves or whatever, I'd probably even buy the hot, like Jimmy Dean sausage, because we do like that spice, you know, a little hotter, but just doing the regular.
Okay.
So now we're going to just kind of layer the bacon, and you know, you just want, and it says about 15 pieces, and you know, it's going to depend upon. I had a pound and a half of bacon, but it was thickly sliced.
Right.
So I think I had 17 pieces, you know, with that. So that's just going to make all the difference in the world how thick your bacon is, to say when it says, you know, use 15 pieces.
Right.
You know, of that. So, okay. Now we're going to put some cheese on it.
Let's see. So you got 10 pieces left there.
Oh, okay.
Probably could use another piece in there.
Okay. Or that might be just extra something to eat that it didn't fit in here.
This is true.
Yeah, right. Okay, so now take some cheddar cheese. What I had here, I had a block of Colby Jack cheese in my refrigerator that I just went ahead and grated.
Okay.
I needed to use up, so we're gonna put a nice generous amount of cheese in there. And the cheese then at the end, when we layer everything else again, we're not going to put the cheese on top until after we have it baked, and we'll take it out and put extra cheese on it, and then put under the
Okay.
broil just for a short time. So that's just, can never have too much cheese. And what we actually do want to do is end up with the hash browns on top.
Okay.
So we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the eggs in right now.
I don't know that I've seen the eggs that yellow.
Well, these are
They're farm eggs, I
they're
know.
good farm eggs. And this time of year, of course, eggs are definitely more yellow than come winter. But yeah, they're awesome. I would tell everybody where I got the eggs from, but I can't because this way I wouldn't have enough.
That's right.
Okay. So let's just put the rest of that sausage on here. And it does make a healthy size 9 by 13 pan.
Oh yes, it's going to be full.
It's actually kind of fun to assemble. And that's, the bacon's just a little bit too on here. We'll probably, there, get that. Just have to break off a piece there. But never, bacon is just an awesome flavor. You just can never have too much of that in there. And I really like making my bacon, just putting it on a cookie sheet and baking it in the oven. Mm-hmm. It just works out so well. And, you don't have the splatter all over and the bacon doesn't curl up as much. So now we're going to put some more hash browns on here. And we got to realize that this will cook down a little bit though too.
Oh yeah,
so,
the hash browns definitely.
yeah, that's going to.
So you're not using the full, you said it was a pound of hash browns that we needed?
It calls for a pound, yes, and so this is a pound and a half, so I don't, definitely won't be needing all of that. But I want to make sure that I have it nicely, covered there.
Sure.
A little bit of ice chunks in there that we don't need. Always have to have that little extra for good measure. Okay. So there we got that assembled. And what's great now that we can put it in the oven with our apple coffee cake at the 350.
Okay.
So
and how long does this take to bake?
it says about 30 minutes.
Okay.
But, I find that probably at least 35 because you want your hash browns, good and hot
Okay.
and stuff. So we'll put that in there. And it's a pretty thick pan here too. So we'll just get that stuck in there. And
It's actually 35 minutes, so it's perfect.
35 minutes. So we'll see how both turn out about the same time.
All right, we'll be back.
Country Rose Cafe on East Villard is open for breakfast and lunch 7 days a week. Enjoy daily homemade specials, caramel and cinnamon rolls, several different kinds of homemade pies made fresh every day. Country Rose Cafe is also famous for homemade soup, including their ever-popular Nefla served every Tuesday. While you're in, make sure to pick up your Channel 18 Cooking Crave recipes and like us on Facebook for different specials and announcements. Country Rose Cafe, the way a cafe should be, located at 837 East Villard in Dickinson.
Okay, Rhonda, the timer's going off for our breakfast lasagna. Let's check that out there. What I did here was we went ahead and added the cheese to it here.
Yep.
And just put it under the broiler for, it was about 5 minutes. Mm-hmm. And that's all you have to do is kind of watch to make sure that it just browns a little bit but doesn't, burn. And it's
right.
Nice and bubbly and everything. So we're going to bring that over here.
I know we talk, are we going to set it up here?
Yeah.
I know we talk I say all the time, I wish our viewers could actually smell how wonderful these things are when they come out of the oven because the cheese and the bacon and the sausage, you just smell
Everything.
this wonderful stuff.
And the apple.
Yep.
We were able to, now I had it in for 50 minutes and it was just perfect. It says 50 to 55 minutes.
Yep.
So it's been out probably a little over 5 minutes, almost 10 minutes cooling. So we're going to, I'm going just to flip that over here.
Yep, the breakfast lasagna here, we did put back in the oven for another 5 minutes before we added the cheese. Mm-hmm. But again, just depending on your oven.
Yeah. And as I flipped it, just to show the viewers how nicely brown that got on the bottom.
Yep.
And that, but I want the nice crusties on top. So we're going to put that out there. But and that it just come out so nicely and everything. So
Perfect.
We're going to just go ahead and get a plate here for our breakfast lasagna here. And you know, you serve it with this apple, coffee cake.
Yes.
And if you had a little bit of fruit to it,
Some fruit, some coffee.
You'd have just one excellent brunch or just a breakfast there and stuff. So
Absolutely.
okay, so
I think you could
just
start
see
a bed and
that.
breakfast.
That looks great.
Smells even better.
So I guess we could cut a little bit of this just to show the viewers what it looks like in the inside here and get a little piece out.
Yeah, that's set up so nice.
Yeah, that looks, either way, it looks great.
It does. And I know it's going to taste even better. So,
Absolutely.
yes. To get these recipes, just go to Consolidated's website, www.ctctel.com. And we have a special hope for our viewers. When you submit recipes now, your name will go into a drawing. If we use your recipe on air, that you will get one of our Cooking Crave aprons. They're nice, sturdy aprons, and they got awesome pockets. So submit your recipes so you get a chance to win these. I'm going to take this back again now. I could have put that apron on, but that's okay. And again, go to our website to get the recipes, and always thank you to our sponsors. Join us on Cooking Crave when we do it all over again next week.